Did you know your favorite artist might have lied to you? Okay, maybe not intentionally, but have you ever seen an artist announce a new album only to find out it's 7 songs and barely 20 minutes long? Or maybe you've had people call a project a mixtape, an EP, an album all at the same time. So, what's the difference? What exactly makes a single, an EP, a mixtape, and an album an actual album? If you're a music fan, an upcoming artist, a producer, or someone trying to understand the music industry, this video might save you from looking clueless in the next music debate. And trust me, the answers isn't as simple as you think. Welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and maybe leave a comment. So today we are breaking down every major type of music release, from singles and EPs to LPs, albums, mixtapes, deluxe editions, and even weird versions like acapellas and chipmunk remixes. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you are listening to, and you'll never let an artist fool you again. Let's start with the most basic one. Okay, let's just imagine you are a restaurant owner. You don't give customers the entire menu immediately. You give them an amazing dish to get them interested. That is basically what a single is. A single is usually one song released on its own. Its job to grab attention, to create hype, to make people excited for whatever comes next. Think about songs like Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, God's Plan by Drake. These songs became global hits long before many listeners even explored the full projects they came from. In today's streaming era, artists often release multiple singles before dropping a larger project. And why, you might ask? This is because every single creates conversation. Every single gets playlist placements. Every single keeps the artist in the spotlight. And in a world where attention is the currency, singles are one of the most powerful things in music industry. But what happens when one song is not enough? That is where EPs come in. EP stands for extended play. Think of it as a music made with child. It is longer than a single, but shorter than a full album. Usually, you'll find somewhere between 3 and 6 songs. Most EPs stand between 15 to 30 minutes. Not more than 30 minutes. For many new artists, an EP is the perfect introduction. Instead of asking listeners to commit to a 15-song album, they offer a shorter experience. It's like saying, here is a taste of who I am. Many artists used EPs before becoming superstars, EPs are used to build an audience, experiment with sounds and test what works. And here is where things get really, really interesting. A lot of projects that fans call albums are actually EPs. That's crazy, but that's the truth. If a project has only a handful of songs and a very short runtime, it may technically fit the EP category better. So next time your favorite artist drops a massive album, check the tracklist first. You might be getting an EP in this case. But if an EP is short, what counts as a real album? Now we arrive at the heavyweight champion of music releases, the album. Yeah. Or as many people call it, the LP. LP stands for long play. Remember, EP stood for extended play. The term comes from vinyl records that could hold much more music than older formats. Today, LP and album are often used interchangeably. A true album is usually longer than 30 minutes, contains multiple tracks, designed as a complete body of work, meaning they are in sync, same topic, something like that. This is where artists tell big stories. Think of album like, let me say, Thriller by Michael Jackson, the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem, To Pimp Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar, or 21 by Adele. These projects were not just collections of songs. They were experience. Albums often have narratives and emotions and carefully arranged track lists. The best albums take listeners on a journey from start to finish. And that's why many artists consider the album their ultimate artistic statement. But then we have something that's even more confusing, the mixtape. And this is where things get kind of messy. If you know, you know. As an artist, I know. If you know. If albums are carefully planned movies, mixtapes are often experimental playgrounds. Mixtape became especially important in hip-hop culture. Back in the day, rappers would release free projects packed with freestyles, remixes, and release songs and experimental ideas. The goal was not necessarily sales, the goal was exposure. So legendary career were built on mixtape. And I know a lot of you know these mixtapes. The OGs like Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Chance the Rapper, Wiz Khalifa, all of them used mixtape to build a loyal fan bases before dominating the mainstream. But here's the funny part. Modern mixtapes often sound just as polished as albums. Some even outperform the official albums, which means the difference today is often less about quality and more about how the artist chooses to present the project. And honestly, this is just a personal view. Sometimes the artist decides whether it's mixtape or album simply for branding reasons. But subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, you want to comment. Quick question. What is the greatest album or mixtape you've ever heard? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious to see whether people choose classics like Thriller, Illmatic, or something completely unexpected. Now let's talk about something most fans don't even know exists. The different types of albums. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. Not every album is a studio album. There are actual several categories of albums. Let's start with the big ones, a studio album. A studio album is kinda the standard version, recorded professionally, mixed professionally, and released as the artist intended. Then you have live albums. These capture the actual performance in front of audiences. If you ever wanted to feel like you are at a concert while sitting at home, that's the purpose. Then there are compilation albums. Think of things like greatest hits. Dua Lipa has a lot of such. They are collections of artists' most popular songs across different years. You also have concept albums. These are albums built around a story or central idea. Some artists create entire fictional worlds through concept albums. And finally, we have Deluxe Edition. You have seen a lot of these even with the name. You've probably seen these everywhere, I say. Make sure you subscribe to this. An artist releases an album, then a few months later, boom, an extra 10 songs compilation, 5 more remixes in the album, 3 alternative versions into the album, and suddenly the album is twice as long as it was. Welcome to the Deluxe Edition. But now let's talk about the strange cousins of music releases. First up, we have Acapella Versions. These contain only vocals, no instruments, no drums, nothing else. Then we have another one called Instrumentals. This is the exact opposite. All the music is in this thing, but we don't have vocal. It is perfect for things like karaoke, producers, DJs, and live performance for the artists who really know how to perform. Then we have something called acoustic version. Artists strip away heavy production and perform songs using mostly acoustic instruments. I'll talk about acoustic instruments later. These versions often reveal details hidden in the original recording. We also have stripped versions. These remove much of the production to create a raw, intimate feel. And of course, the remix. Probably this is the most common alternative remix. A remix can completely transform a song. It can have a different beat. It can have a different tempo. It can have a different genre. Sometimes it becomes bigger than the original song. And finally, there is the internet's favorite audit, the Chipmunk Versions. The monkey kind of versions. They are high-pitched vocals, altered pitch, a completely different listening experience. Love them or hate them, they've become recognizable part of modern music culture. So okay guys, comment there below, but let's recap. What is one song called? Pause. Give me a comment. Yes, correct. That's the thing. Few songs, but less than 30 minutes. That is usually an EP. A larger complete project, that's an album or LP, whatever you want. Make sure it's more than 30 minutes in total. An experimental, less formal project, but several songs. Probably call it a mixtape. Then there are countless alternative versions and special releases that make the music world even more interesting. The next time an artist announces a project, don't just look at the cover art. Check the track list. Check the runtime. Because now you'll know exactly what you are getting. And who knows? You might catch your favorite artist calling an EP an album. If you learned something new, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with that one friend who thinks every music release is an album. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep the music alive. Peace.